Present.
Miller.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Now we have approval of the minutes. For minutes dated
August 4th.
August 4th, and then we also have the minutes from August 11th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. Should I do it on request?
I don't know, if do you do it on here? Or do you have to do?
Just as you were doing it,
Okay.
we'll just vote on the devices.
Oh, okay. All right, so it's been moved by Commissioner Wiper, seconded by Commissioner Cavell. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Well,
Opposed?
we're going to use our device.
Oh.
Oh.
Please vote on your device.
So,
Please vote on your device.
I knew it was there somewhere.
Oh, okay, we wait for.
Like this? Or it comes up
And this
itself?
will pop up
Oh.
anywhere you're at in the system, whether you're reviewing a document or on the agenda.
Okay.
And then you hit your response and save.
So there's no more voice vote?
No.
Well, no.
Okay.
60 yeas, 0 nays.
All right. Motion carries on the approval of the minutes.
And you can see the response on the screen.
And they're gonna fix that in just a second to zoom out a little bit more so the last names
No.
are included.
If I may, quick question.
Yes.
As we go through this today, you might have 100 questions as we go through this process. Now, since there was an A and B, what if we wanted to vote on those separately? Is this voting on both at the same time, right?
We can.
You can do that? Okay.
Mhm.
just check.
Okay, no, that's a good question.
Ed found a problem.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay.
Now we have the approval of the agenda. We have an amendment to the agenda. Commissioner
I
Wiper.
make a motion that we pull the first item and have the agenda amended to reflect that that's not on the agenda today.
Moved by Commissioner Wiper, seconded by Commissioner Spiz. We would do a roll call on that one, or we have to do? Oh,
Discussion.
any discussion? Sorry, this is new electronic stuff. Any discussion?
Now, just to declare and
Commissioner
reiterate for
Spitz.
everybody, this is, has to do with the Health and Human Services Neighborhood and Housing Development item.
Correct.
Okay, just-
Sorry, I should have said that, yeah. I'm trying to,
I understand.
I apologize. So this is vote for current item. Is this the agenda?
The amended agenda.
Where do we see that where it says this is, you're voting on the amended agenda?
Current item at the, is approval of agenda.
But we're amending it though.
Amended- Yeah, but you guys
Just
announced.
As amended.
Okay, so approved as amended, I guess. We just
And
press the
then
button.
save. Yes.
There's a question on the floor,
Oh.
and I don't have an ability to press request with the pop-up.
Oh, go ahead, cancel the vote.
Oh, that's because you're in that screen, yes.
Yes. Could you repeat that? Because I don't see that, and I just want to make.
It was already removed.
Oh, okay, okay.
What item was removed?
The Health and Human Services Neighborhood and Housing Development authorization to negotiate the purchase of property at 144 East Pike.
Okay,
Okay.
the building in Pontiac, that's,
Yes.
okay,
Build- Short building plan.
okay,
Save.
Oh,
gotcha. And it's just being pulled off the agenda?
Correct.
Okay,
That's why I wanted
sorry,
to clarify it.
yeah.
gotcha.
Thank you.
Yeah, when they move it too fast, it's not there for us
Yeah,
to see what's
yeah,
being moved.
Exactly.
So, that's good.
Okay, we have 6 yeas, 0 nays.
Hit the green.
Sure, that's fine.
Okay.
Will we get time to speak to?
If you should wish to speak on an item, there's a green button at the bottom right that says request to speak. And then the chair running the meeting would hit details and there would be a list of speakers here. And then after you are finished speaking, you hit the withdraw. The request to speak turns red, and you would hit the red button
Okay.
in case you wanted to speak again on the same item on the second round.
So I have to,
Automatically put in there, I want to speak on all of them?
right. So I have to put
Charlie
details every
should.
time? So if I don't put details, I don't know if anybody's that.
Right, but your committee coordinator would probably.
Okay.
At least I don't correct people's spelling.
Alright.
It's been-
Thank you.
Yep, so we got the approval of the agenda, right? We're good with that?
Yes,
I'm a
but you have
better
a handout.
speller than spell check.
What's
And
that?
it
There you have a
annoys
handout.
me
The
that
hand.
There you go.
changes
How
words,
do
you
I have a
know.
handout?
I always get the
Oh.
green squigglies
Oh, it
because they
just
don't know
cleared
what I'm
me.
trying to say.
Oh,
I just don't understand my style.
Okay, so
details.
I
I,
cleared all my
Okay, hit the
county
button.
emails before I came today, and there's 26 more, so
So then you will see that.
must be the
How do I approve
mandate
that?
people.
Or-
You just verbally.
Yeah, they are.
And then I
Very
withdraw.
for or against, I mean,
Commissioner
there's a lot
Charles?
of both.
Thank you, Chair. Just for the
I counted while I was
practicality
doing
of
it
this,
morning.
what I'm
22
finding,
for, 15 against. Yeah.
what I'm
Okay,
finding.
hold on, let's, one conversation, please.
Wait for you guys to catch up.
What I'm finding is,
Hey,
if the chair calls for the vote, as I'm gathering a thought to go then hit request and that pop-up's there, it's no way for me to indicate that I have that I want to speak. So just as a feedback for us as we move forward. Does that make
okay.
sense?
Yeah, well, it should pop up for the chair too that says somebody wants to speak too, right?
Yeah,
'Cause we're
but
so
that
used to
pop-up to
saying-
vote, it blocks out the ability to
Yeah.
hit
Yeah,
request to speak.
and Commissioner, just to clarify, we will have some transition through this, but we're going to hope to rely on our chairs to wait to call the vote until after each commissioner has had a chance to speak. So
Perfect.
we'll be working with staff to look for that indication from the chair.
I didn't vote for that. It wasn't approved on the agenda.
All right, perfect.
All right, so now we'll go to public comment, and I do see there's a comment up there. I don't know if someone's got a message in the Google Meets.
Yeah, I'll deal with that later.
That was an internal message.
Oh, okay, I'll do, I like that. So is there anybody from public comment here? Seeing nobody who wants to speak, we'll call public comment closed. And then now we have communications. Communications, we have the Oakland County Airport Committee minutes dated June 7th, 2021. Need a motion. Moved by Commissioner Markham, second by Commissioner Spiz. Any discussion? Call the vote.
I'm just going to hover and irritate you.
Oh, that's all right.
And then save.
We have 6 yeas, 0 nays.
All right, motion carries. Now we have the next regular agenda item is, so we're going letters instead of numbers now, right? Is that what I'm seeing? Okay. So A on the regular agenda is Building Management System Replacement Project, 5th phase.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is Joe Murphy here, manager of the...
Hold on, Mr. Murphy, we're still, we need a motion, needs to be moved and supported. Moved by Commissioner Wiper, second by Commissioner Spiz. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Sorry about that. I was a little excited to get this in front of you guys and get moving on this project. So every year about this time, facilities comes forward with this phase. This is the building management system, phase 5, as part of our capital plan. The project is a total cost of $600,000, $528,000 is for Limbach out of Pontiac. It was competitively bid, and then $72,000 with engineering fees for this project. And this is updating a 30-year-old system. We're almost 18 buildings through, kind of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and seeking approval to move forward with phase 5. Answer any questions that you may have.
Any discussion?
Oh, yep.
First we have Commissioner Charles, then Commissioner Cavell.
Look again.
Oh, you took yours off. Now we have Commissioner Cavell.
Yeah, I was just curious what a building management system is. I couldn't grasp that from the summary or the resolution.
Basically, it's known as the energy management system in the older days. It controls the HVAC schedules, lighting, timing schedules, unoccupied hours when we know to go into night setbacks, sets different types of alarms so our building operators know that they might be out of a parameter or have a dirty filter in buildings. So it's a pretty technical system that controls almost all the environmental systems in our building, heating and cooling, lighting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Not seeing any. Just make a note for the moderators of this technical stuff here. Commissioners should have as much time as needed, not 3 minutes, it says when they're speaking. I don't know if it comes up on your screen 3 minutes, but it comes up on mine. So I don't see any other, any other discussion? Nothing's popping up. Call the vote, please.
Six yeas, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now we have the next agenda item, which is B, is the fiscal year 2021 repaving program project. We got somebody excited today, going to get ahead of everybody. So moved by Commissioner Spiz, seconded by Commissioner Charles. Any discussion? Good morning.
You may be muted.
Anybody speaking on it? Not seeing any.
I can hear Ed talking in the next room. Let me run over there and make sure that his. All right. Hold on for a second.
All right, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I apologize. My speaker showed that I was unmuted, but obviously you could not hear me. So thank you for bearing with me. So this project here is our annual repaving project. It is an annual line item in the CIP. We evaluated all of our parking lots and determined that the ones listed on here are the ones that are in need of replacement. We did go out for a competitive bid. We work with purchasing on a competitive bid process. And Asphalt Specialists Incorporated out of Pontiac, Michigan would be the main contractor. They were the lowest responsible bidder. And with that, happy to answer any questions you may have.
Commissioner Markham.
Good morning, everybody. So my question as it relates to parking lots on campus is the same thing I ask every time we talk about paving parking lots on campus, and that is, what is the plan to install electric car chargers in all of the parking lots in Oakland County's campus? It just seems to me that if we're going to repave, it's the time to be thinking about at least laying the infrastructure like we have out in our own parking lot. But you know more about it than I do, so please fill me in.
Yeah, sure. So in instances where it makes sense, we are including an empty conduit for potential future charging stations. As I think you're aware, we are working with an outside consultant, AECOM, right now on an environmental sustainability plan. So when that concludes, we hope to have recommendations on what type of charging stations we should be installing on the campus and where we should be doing that.
But for these parking lots, you're at least installing a conduit in them so that when it's decided what type or how many, we will be able to run the power to get there.
Yeah, so in all of these parking lots, we are not planning on running conduit simply because for two reasons. Either the portion of the lot that we're doing would not be the appropriate place to put a charging station. Like in the Board of Commissioners parking lot that we're repaving, we already have conduit in place for potential future charging stations.
Okay, well, every time you come to us with a parking lot, I'm going to ask you that question, so thank you very much.
Yep, of course, yeah.
All right, next speaker we have is Commissioner Cavell.
Yeah, hi Ed. I learned this trick from Commissioner Spiz. How much money is in the capital improvement, the CIP, left for the year and for repaving?
Well, so I don't know what's remaining, right? The CIP has a very long list of projects. Typically, there's somewhere between maybe 5 and 8 million per year in there. But for paving for this particular year, we are planning to spend what we had budgeted for that line item. So our parking, we have several parking lots that are in need of replacement. So for this year, we had budgeted the 1.4 million, and we will be using every penny of that to replace as much pavement as we can.
Okay. A follow-up question is, when you, just thinking about the BOC parking and EOB parking, I don't know much about parking lot design, but it doesn't seem that bad. Why were these the ones that were picked? Am I wrong? This is the one you're talking about?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so that's a good question, because when you look at the BOC lot, the condition of it on the surface doesn't look as bad as maybe some of the others. But we are having some drainage issues over there. So a lot of the work that we're doing for the BOC lot has to do with drainage. The other lots, like especially up at Children's Village, those are in pretty bad shape on the surface, so that's why those need to be replaced. But we get a lot of standing water in the BOC lot, and we want to correct that. And I also wanted to mention, and Commissioner Markham, I'm sure you'll be able to hear this, that when as part of the drainage redesign for the BOC lot, a portion of that will be the permeable paving, which, as you know, is a pretty good green initiative for us.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next we have Commissioner Spiz.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a couple of questions, because I agree with Gwen, we need to put in infrastructure where we can for charging stations, because they're coming, so no need to fight it. But are you, and it's probably different for every parking lot, but are you just overlaying, doing a mill and overlay, a complete tear out? How are you guys progressing? Because it'll depend on what you do, depend on if you can put that infrastructure in.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So none of these lots that we're doing here are a mill and cap, right, which you're referring to, where we would just go in and mill the top few inches of the pavement and then pave over top of that. And you're right, in those instances, it does not give us an opportunity to put, conduit under the base. But what these lots that we're doing now, and what we most typically do, is a FDR, which is a full depth reclamation, where we do excavate and remove the base and put in a new base before we put in the pavement.
Do I have a follow-up question, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, you got the floor.
When did we do the overlay on the Board of Commissioners parking lot?
I believe it was back in 2013.
All right. Thought it was newer than that. 8 years old?
Yep.
I don't know, I wasn't here. All right, any other discussion? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
6 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, motion carries. Now we have the next agenda item is Legal Resource Center Consolidation Project. Need a motion. Moved by Commissioner Markham, second by Commissioner Charles. Good morning again.
Good morning again. This project here may be one that some of you are familiar with because we did work with the Board of Commissioners on this consolidation project. As you may be aware, the Legal Resource Center in the West Wing extension has downsized by a great amount over the years. And they're fairly spread out in an inefficient layout. So this plan would consolidate them to be more functional based on their size and operations now. And it would also free up some space for the future MIDC offices that we may have to accommodate here soon. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Go back to that screen. If currently nobody wants to ask a question.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, Commissioner Charles.
Thank you. I just noticed at the bottom of the resolution, which I love this committee tracker, is, and this might be less for you, Mr. Joss, but perhaps the chair might know, where it says today we do the EDI, and then it says full board 9-2. The last one said finance. Is there reason that it goes straight to full board? Is that a concise question?
It's a valid question.
That is a good question.
Okay. So,
Anybody?
does anyone have an answer?
I don't have an answer for that. Or somebody on staff?
Maybe because we're in charge of that.
Okay.
The board's in charge of that.
I guess I'd like to get an answer to that, because I don't know the answer.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Down here, it kind of, it gives the layout of what the next steps are, and I just noticed it goes right to 9-2, whereas the last initiative,
This one, the Legal Resource Center, it's due to the budget. It's a lower dollar amount. We've kind of determined when it's like a certain amount, we'll send it to finance, but this one is not. We don't consider it a substantial dollar amount, so.
okay.
I know, I should know that, that's why I'm asking
Isn't
the
it
question.
250?
Yeah,
Isn't the threshold 250?
yes.
We see stuff less than that coming from you and
But that's for
public health and
general fund,
safety.
right? This is capital, is that part of it, Connie?
It is also part of the CPI, but in talking with Michael, it was determined that anything that we consider a significant amount, according to our committee guidelines, it would go to finance. But because of the dollar amount and it being already a CPI item, it was determined not to go to finance.
So Michael's trying to get a better parking spot, okay.
Yes, the capital improvement plan was already approved, so this is
Yeah.
now bringing forward the actual item expenditure. But the committee and finance had already approved the capital improvement plan for
Okay.
this fiscal year.
All right.
I'm satisfied with that, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Come on, Mike, you're supposed to have moved.
So I think we're good? Okay. I'm satisfied with that, yeah. It's good information. It's always good to have sharp eyes around the table.
They're looking at.
That's why
Indeed.
it takes a team, right?
Yes.
Yeah, why don't? Help us, Mark.
Welcome.
So it seems as though we have some procedural questions here. What Commissioner Charles has in front of her there is a committee referral guidelines, which the board passed, I want to say, January 2019. I could be wrong in that, but it was at the beginning of a term. And what that does is it provides some guidance as to what essentially gets referred to finance and what begins at liaison and then gets referred to finance with some certain dollar threshold amounts that was agreed upon by the board at that time for those referrals. So it's I would say that it's not a work in progress, but we're still hammering out some of the finer details because there has been some resolutions that have come forth that maybe don't fall within those categories. But when we were going through that whole process at the time, we tried to capture as much of the general aspects of what business comes before the board in order to, make sure that it goes to finance properly. In prior terms, finance would hear everything from $1 up to tens of millions of dollars. And it was determined at that time that I think threshold amounts of $250,000 or $50,000 for board special projects could stay within the liaison committee instead of going to finance as well. So, and then the way that finance would see it is through a communication item. So that's kind of where this has evolved from with that. So we can make additional copies if you want, but it is on our meeting resources page. If you just search in the search bar, committee referral guidelines, you'll find those, and that will be helpful for you guys to understand why certain things go to finance and certain things don't.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. All right.
Learn something.
Any other discussion?
You're right, I should know that.
Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Oh, it's colorful.
You have 6 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next agenda item is.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's why.
I had more of a systemic question.
Did you get it?
Oh,
I'm just used to hearing everybody's voice.
Well, I got
Yeah,
it,
right.
but I
Yeah,
was
but
like,
instead
yeah,
of the voice
I want to vote
automatically-
yes.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, the colors.
right.
Voice recognition out there, so everybody can hear yes, no.
Why is it only 5? Oh, okay. I see now.
Oh, that was,
Is there a
yeah.
procedure if we do want to see a voice vote? Can we do that?
Spiz was looking at.
Yeah.
It was like, no cheating.
Do you mean a vote as in progress?
Yes, but instead of doing just the push button, there's a way we can do a voice vote on the floor. Because I'm expecting eventually there will be some on the floor that people want a voice vote.
So I think what you're wondering is if there is a way to project an in-process vote, like the yes, the no's as they come up. And they will, that is down the line, we are
Okay.
working on that.
That is good.
Yeah.
And more, but if people want to hear somebody say the word yes or no versus just populating the board. It's a policy we have to come up with.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I want to walk up to the front and do.
Right. I wanted to, like they do on the legislature, it goes ding, so they can see the people that they voted. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
that's down the line.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
All right. So now we're on line or agenda item D, 2021 roof replacement program projects. Need a motion. Moved by Commissioner Spiz, seconded by Commissioner Markham. Good morning.
Good morning again. So similar to the paving projects, this is a line item in the CIP that we address annually. We evaluate our roofs and prioritize them and have determined that so the ones that need to be replaced next. We did work on a competitive bid, and we will be using multiple contractors for different items, but the main roofing contractor was the lowest responsible bidder is Bloom Roofing System out of Brighton, Michigan. I will note, just so that you're aware, that if this is approved and we can move forward, we will not be able to re-roof until the spring because there is currently at least a 6-month lead time on roofing material.
Wow.
And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Let's see. Oh, there we go. Commissioner Charles, followed by Commissioner Spiz.
Cool. I see the speakers lining up.
Oh, cool.
Hello again, Mr. Joss. It's Yolanda Charles, Commissioner, District 17, where this just happens to reside. I just wanted to check with you as far as any stop gaps is the best term I can come up with between now and that 6 months or that spring date to just make sure that the facility is respectable and meets the expectations of Oakland County residents. Will there be like bins in the corners collecting water? How are we looking at just making sure it looks good?
Yeah, so we don't currently have, active leaks there. We do get leaks from time to time, but they're addressed immediately, right? Our maintenance and operation group is, in my opinion, very good, and we have people that are full-time in our buildings and monitor this stuff. The main reason for needing to replace that roof is, we have had some leaks, but we get them patched right away. The roof is older and is beyond its warranty period, and so it's next on the list to be replaced. But it's not in shambles, and anyone visiting the facility would probably not notice at all that it's in need of replacement.
Thank you.
All right, now we have Commissioner Spiz.
Yes, can you confirm it's a flat roof, right? Not a traditional roof?
Correct, yes.
Just based on the description of materials. Thank you.
All right, now we have, after Commissioner Spiz, we have Commissioner Cavell, followed by Commissioner Markham.
Yeah, you talked about a lead time. Does that also mean that the materials cost more than they would have a few months ago? Is that really playing a part into this? Or any of your projects like that?
It is actually for all of our projects. Materials are still, depending on the material, in some cases it's, 20% more. In other cases, it's 2% more, depending on. It has been a challenge to try to do what we need to do with the money that we had budgeted. And of course, the lead times are causing us to be as creative as we can with schedules.
Okay. Thank you. That's good to hear.
All
Or
right,
interesting to
Commissioner.
hear.
Commissioner, you all set?
Okay.
Commissioner Markham, this is weird with the,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Once again, Mr. Joss, I'm going to ask you environmental questions. So
Yeah.
as we're looking at roof replacements, not just these, but going forward, there are different roof designs that are more, that are better for the environment, and I understand we're working with some older buildings too, but can you just talk a little bit about how you look at whether we can improve the roof environmentally as we look at different buildings? Can you just talk about how we look at that?
Yeah, sure. And I think you hit the nail on the head. We are working with some older buildings, existing buildings, so that does create a bit of a challenge. Wherever we have an opportunity, we're looking at those things. We have done extensive studies to determine, whether or not white roofs as opposed to black roofs make sense for us. But it has been determined that in our climate, because we tend to have considered more cold days than we do warm days, as far as energy efficiency, it still makes sense for us to use black roofs. So we have evaluated that. And then, of course, we're aware of and we look at things like green roofs, and literally green, where, we can put vegetation on the roof, which has several benefits, but in most all cases, including this one, the building was not structurally designed and built to carry the extra load that would be required for such a design. So it is very much on our radar. Unfortunately, we're not available to take advantage of some of those opportunities as often as we would like. On any new construction, it is definitely in the forefront of our minds and something that we hope to be able to take advantage of.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, and I'm glad to know that as you do this, you walk yourself through the steps of deciding whether it makes sense on a particular project or not. I appreciate that.
Yep,
Thank you.
Absolutely, yep.
That's all, Mr. Chair.
All right. I see Charlie as is.
Oh, it's still up, that's all.
All right. Now you're back up again. Oh, now you're gone. You're doubling it up. All right. So no other discussion. Call the roll, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Gobbledygook.
We have 6 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next
Yeah,
agenda
thank you, everyone.
item is E 2021 Michigan Environment Great Lakes Energy Eagle Brownfield Redevelopment Grant, Renew Michigan Grant Acceptance. Moved by Commissioner Charles, seconded by Commissioner Spiz. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. How are you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Good, thank you. This is the actual grant award. We came before this body a few months back regarding the application for this. At that time, we applied for $399,000 in the Eagle grant funding, and we were actually awarded $425,000 in grant funding. So Eagle likes this project. They funded $26,000 more than our ask, which is exciting. Just a brief update on what this is. It's cleanup of the former Webster School in Pontiac, right off Huron Street, to build a community center. There's a former underground storage tank that needs removed, and some industrial cleaning of the building. And there's some lead and asbestos throughout that need to be removed. Be happy to answer any questions.
Not seeing any. Oh, Commissioner Markham.
I'm still trying to, learn the system, but yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm up. Good morning, Mr. Hanson. I love this project. I said that when you were here before. It was my elementary school when I was a kid. So I've been looking into it, and I've talked with Mr. Yoakum a couple of different times about the project. In fact, I'm going to meet him at the school at 1 o'clock next Tuesday, if anybody wants to join me. He told me to bring my friends, and a couple of my friends who went to elementary school with me said they were going to come, so.
What's the date?
Tuesday, the 31st at 1 o'clock at Webster School. So, yeah, please join me if you want to. It's very exciting, and I'm very much in support of this, as you know. So thank you.
Can I recommend to send out a note out to all commissioners that might want to attend that?
Sure.
Is it on Murphy Street too?
Yeah, Murphy is one of the side streets. Yes, that's right, but it wasn't the same Murphy. It's the Murphy, the car company guy from like 1900.
I'm thinking there's some kind of conspiracy here. No, I'm just kidding.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere, she said. All right, I don't see it. Oh, we got Commissioner Charles.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to say that, as you guys can tell, this is going straight to the Board of Commissioners because this is brownfield without fiscal impact. Just to wrap that in a bow. Thank you.
All right. No other speakers. We'll give one more time. Anyone? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Enthusiastically, yes.
We need that button in there.
6 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Put emoji faces on there when
Yeah.
Gotta be careful with emojis. There's some emojis you don't want in there.
Yeah, true.
Next agenda item is F, adoption of the Water Resource Commissioner Stormwater Engineering Design Standards. Moved by Commissioner Charles, second by Commissioner Markham. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Just want to make sure my microphone is working this morning.
Yes.
Great. Steve Korth, Water Resources Office. Today we're looking for your approval of our new stormwater engineering design standards. And to present this item, Lynn Seymour is with us. She is a new employee, a new assistant chief engineer with our office. She's been on board for 3 months, and this is one of her areas of expertise. I'll turn it over to Lynn for a high-level overview of what this presentation is.
Good morning. So basically, we've had stormwater standards in place for many, many years. And now with the new stormwater requirements from Eagle, we needed to update them to reflect some of those requirements. In particular, some operation and maintenance agreements that would be required for infiltration practices that are now required. So things like green infrastructure will now be parts of development. So we worked with our adjoining counties, Macomb, Wayne, and Livingston, to do a collaborative approach. And so we're just looking for the board to approve these standards to apply to county properties.
Commissioner Cavell.
Yeah, this is not related to this, which sounds very good, and congrats on the new gig, Lynn.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you to Steve or Mr. Korth for what you did about Royal Oak Township and your advocacy and research and planning and development skills with that. So thanks.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Spiz.
Yeah, just a quick question. Does this have to be reviewed by Eagle or reviewed and approved by Eagle? Or do they set out basic guidelines that are driving what you've put in this document?
We did have to go before Eagle and get their approval. So they have approved what we have fundamentally in the standards, and so we're okay to proceed.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Give it one more round. You back up again, Charlie?
No,
You gotta pull your name.
I gotta do. Oh, okay.
All right, Charlie. See no discussion, call the roll, please.
Lynn, would you mind if one of us abstained just to see if the button works on our new system? Okay.
Sure, as long as it's not official.
Okay.
And welcome aboard, Lynn.
Thank you.
6 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So now we have any other business? Other business? Seeing none, we'll call the meeting closed at 10:27. Saved by the bell.
Commissioners, if you wouldn't mind